So we'll chant Jai Radha Madhava, and then after that we'll have discussion. Jai Jai Shri Shri Radha Madhava Bhagwan ki Jai, Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Maharani ki Jai, Ganta Srimad Bhagavatam ki Jai, Symbol Bhakta Vrind ki Jai. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari, Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari, Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari, Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari, Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana, Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana, Yashodanandana Yamuna Tira Vanachari, Yamuna Tira Yamuna Tira Vanachari, Yamuna Tira Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari, Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari, Jaya Radha Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha, Jaya Girivaradhari, Jaya Girivaradhari, Girivaradhari, Jaya Girivaradhari, Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana, Yamuna Tira Vanachari, Yamuna Tira Vanachari, Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari, Krishna Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Radha Shyam Sundar Radha Shyam Sundar Shri Radhe. Jaya Krishna Balaram Krishna Balaram Krishna Balaram Jaya Krishna Balaram Jaya Krishna Balaram Jaya Gaura Nitai Gaura Nitai Gaura Nitai Jaya Gaura Nitai Jaya Gaura Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Gurudev, Gurudev, Jaya 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 Gurudev. Nitai Gaura Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Nitai Gaura Hari Bo, Nitai Gaura Hari Bo, Hari Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Chaiva Narottamam Devi Saraswati Vyasam Tato Jayam Mudire Nasta Prayashu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhakti Bhavati Nastike Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nandagopa Kumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha Namo Pankaj Nabhaya Namo Pankaj Maline Namo Pankaj Netraye Namaste Pankajangare Pramanand Madhvam Sri Chaitanya Ishwaram Granth Srimad Bhagavatam ki Jai. So reading from second chapter, verse number 3. Yashwanubhavam akhila sruti sara ekam adhyatma deepam atitirshatam tamo vandham samsarinam karunaya purana guhyam tam sunum upyani guru mumunim Yashvanubhavam akhila srutisaramekam adhyatmadipam atitirshatam tamoandham samsarinam karunaya purana guhyam tam sunum upyami gurum munina Yashvanubhavam akhila srutisaramekam Adhyatmadipam atit irshatam tamavandham samsarinam karunayah purana guhyam tambyasishunum upyami gurum munina. So word by word meaning. Yah, he who, Shwa Anubhavam, self-assimilated, experienced, Akhila, all around, Shruti, the Vedas, Sharam, cream, Ekam, the only one, Adhyatma, transcendental, Deepam, torchlight, Atit Irshitam, desiring to overcome, Tamah Andham, deeply dark material existence, samsarinam, of the materialistic man, karunaya, out of causeless mercy, aha, said, purana, supplement of the Veda, guhyam, very confident, very confidential, tham, unto him, vyas sunum, the son of Vyasdev, upayami, let me offer my obeisances, gurum, the spiritual master, muninam, of the great sages. Purport by translation and purport by His Divine Grace Sri Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Let me offer my respectful obeisances unto him. Bracket. Shukdev Swami. The spiritual master of all sages, the son of Vyasdev, who, out of his great compassion for those gross materialists who struggle to cross over the darkest region of the material existence, spoke this most confidential supplement to the cream of Vedic knowledge after having personally assimilated it by experience. Purport. In this prayer, Srila Sutta Goswami critically summarizes the complete introduction of Srimad Bhagavatam. Srimad Bhagavatam is the naturally supplementary commentary on the Vedanta Sutra. The Vedanta Sutra or the Brahma Sutras were compiled by Vyasadeva with a view of presenting just the cream of the Vedic knowledge, essence of the Vedic knowledge. Srimad Bhagavatam is the natural commentary on this cream. Srila Sukadeva Goswami was a thoroughly realized master on the Vedanta Sutra, and consequently he also personally realized the commentary Srimad Bhagavatam. And just to show his boundless mercy upon bewildered materialistic man who want to cross completely over nations, he recited for the first time this confidential knowledge. There is no point in arguing that a materialistic man can be happy. No materialistic creature, be he the great Brahma or an insignificant ant, can be happy. Everyone tries to make a permanent plan for happiness, but everyone is baffled by the laws of material nature. Therefore, the materialistic world is called the darkest regions of God's creation. Yet, the unhappy materialist can get out of it simply by desiring to get out. Yet the unhappy materialists can get out of it simply by desiring to get out. Unfortunately, they are so foolish that they do not want to escape. Therefore, they are compared to the camel who relishes thorny twigs because he likes the taste of the twigs mixed with blood. He does not realize that it is his own blood and that his tongue is being cut by thorns. Similarly, to the materialist, his own blood is as sweet as honey, and although he is always harassed by his own material creation, he does not wish to escape. Such materialists are called karmis. Out of hundreds of thousands of karmis, only a few may be tired of material engagement and desire to get out of labyrinth. Such intelligent persons are called Gyanis. The Vedanta Sutra is directed to such Gyanis. But Srila Vyasdev, being the incarnation of the Supreme Lord, could foresee the misuse of the Vedanta Sutra by unscrupulous men, and therefore he personally supplemented the Vedanta Sutra with the Bhagavad Purana. It is clearly said that Bhagavatam is the original commentary on the Brahm Sutra. Srila Vyasdev also instructed the Bhagavatam to his own son, Srila Sukadeva Goswami, who was already at the liberated stage of transcendence. Srila Sukadeva realized it personally and then explained it. By the mercy of Srila Sukadeva, the Bhagavad Vedanta Sutra is available for all those sincere souls who want to get out of material existence. Srimad Bhagavatam is the one unrivaled commentary on Vedanta Sutra. Sripad Sankaracharya intentionally did not touch it because he knew that the natural commentary would be difficult for him to surpass. He wrote his Saririka Bhashya, and his so-called followers deprecated the Bhagavatam as some new presentation. One should not be misled by such propaganda directed against the Bhagavatam by the Mayavadi school. From this introductory sloka, the beginning students should know that Srimad Bhagavatam is the only transcendental literature meant for those who are Brahmansas and completely free from the material disease called malice. From the introductory sloka, the beginning students should know that Srimad Bhagavatam is the only transcendental literature meant for those who are Brahmansas and completely freed from the material disease called malice. The Mayavadis are envious of the personality of Godhead, despite Sripad Sankaracharya admissions that Narayan, the personality of Godhead, is above the material creation. The envious Mayavadi cannot have access to the Bhagavatam, but those who are really anxious to get out of this material existence may take shelter of this Bhagavatam because it is uttered by the liberated Srila Sukadeva Goswami. It is the transcendental torchlight by which one can see perfectly the transcendental absolute truth realized as Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagwan. Very, very beautiful purport. Before I get into the discussion, I would like to share my screen and then we can start talking about it. So, if you can see it.
Yes, Prabhu, you can see.
Yeah, thank you. Hari Hari. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanasalakaya Chakshurumritam Jena Tasmai Sri Guruve Namaha Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langate Girim Yat Kirpatadam Bande Sri Gurum Dinatarinim Pramananda Madhvam Sri Chaitanya Ishwaram Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanto Swami Tinamine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Ashatya Deshatarine Vanchikalpatarubhyasya Kripa Sindhubhya Evasya Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Kaljug Pavan Harinam Sankirtan ki jai. Granth Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Symbol Bhaktivind ki jai. So, welcome to morning Bhagavatam session. Thank you so much for coming and being part of this program. So, just finished the purport of third verse, and the purport was very, very powerful. It's directly talking about the tendency of the materialistic minded person to stay and continue in the material world. So this verse is basically providing us the solution. So I'm going to basically, as usual, first summarize very quickly what's the main points in the purport, and then we'll get into the outline of the presentation and we'll get into the discussion. Today I have so many slides, so we may go a little late. It's already 7:22. We might run a little over, but I'll try to go through it so that we can make the point clear. So please a little bit be patient with me as we go through the slides. So a very concise summary of the purport is that it's there's no point to argue.
We can't hear you.
We have
Prabhu. Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
I did it, Prabhu. So we have to basically be very clear that this is not the place for happiness. That's dotted clear. Then what's happening is that harassed by on materialistic activity, he does not wish to escape. So if somebody will ask, who is the best enemy or the greatest enemy of ourself? Who is the greatest enemy of myself, or whoever is hearing that? Who is the greatest enemy of yours? It's you. It's you who are creating the action that's resulting into a reaction, and that reaction is binding us. There is nobody else. There is nobody else responsible for the suffering, responsible for the pain, responsible for the things that's going on around us. We think that it's not me, it's something else. And then in the purport, Prabhupada is giving a very beautiful example that the camel is basically eating the thorny twigs, not knowing that the taste is basically the mix of the twigs and camel's own blood. Likewise, the enjoyment that we have in the material world, we do not know that it's coming on cost of our getting caught into cycle of samsara. We are paying the cost of that happiness that we enjoy in this material world, and that happiness come as a reaction of the action that we do, which bind us. An example is given here, that the camel releasing the thorny twigs. But solution is also given here. This verse is very clearly giving us the solution, and the word is used, Adhyatma Deepam. What is that Adhyatma Deepam? We heard in previous verses when we were talking about the glories of Srimad Bhagavatam. Srimad Bhagavatam is Adhyatma Deepam. It's basically a deep, a torchlight, a transcendental torchlight that shine within the heart of a conditioned soul. And with that knowledge, the knowledge that one received from Srimad Bhagavatam, that knowledge help us to cross the cycle of samsara, develop the desire to get out of this material world. So Bhagavatam here both refers to Granth Bhagavatam and Person Bhagavatam. In the translation, it's been mentioned that it was mercy, it was great mercy of Sukadeva Goswami for seeing what's going to come in Kali Yuga, the dark dense Kali Yuga. He, for the welfare of the Kali people, he spoke Srimad Bhagavatam. So this Bhagavatam, both person Bhagavatam and book Bhagavatam, is Adhyatma Deepam. So by taking shelter of this Adhyatma Deep, we enlighten ourselves. We come to this understanding that we are not this body, we are this soul. So we just summarize the purport. The outline of this talk is going to be that we'll just, we just summarize the purport, and then for introduction, I'm going to show you one small video. And then we'll talk about the thorns of the material existence and how we can see through Adhyatma Deepam, how we can see through the torchlight of knowledge that's coming from Bhagavatam, person Bhagavatam and book Bhagavatam, and then harmonize the instructions. So we have to identify what's the source of knowledge. And once we have the knowledge coming to us, then we have to develop the skill to harmonize the knowledge. And then the three guardrails, Guru, Shastra, and Sadhu, that we have to follow to ultimately reach to our destination, which is the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So we are still continuing with chapter 2, which is the discussion between Sutta Goswami talking to the sages of Naimisharanya. And before Sutta Goswami will start answering the 6 questions that we just read in previous chapter, before he start answering those, he is glorifying Bhagavatam. He is glorifying Sukadeva Goswami. Thank you to Sukadeva Goswami. That was his causeless mercy that he spoke this Bhagavatam, which I'm going to now recite and refer and share with you. So that's how Sutta Goswami is basically going to start answering the questions that were asked by sages. But before we get into that, we'll try to stay in the context of the purport given by His Divine Grace, and then we'll try to understand what exactly is that. So for the introduction, I'm going to, so this is the summary of the chapter. I will skip it and then see if I can, okay, so here is the video. I'm gonna show this for, this is 1 minute 30-second video. So while we are watching it, I wanna make sure that, you are paying attention to it and you are trying to understand, or you are visualizing that when we are walking in this material world, when we are trying to deal with the things of the material world, to enjoy it, thinking it's separate from Krishna, that's what exactly we are doing. So let's watch this for 1.5 minutes, and then we'll get into the discussion. Hare Krishna. So how was it? What type of realization did it give us while we were watching that video? Anybody has anything that they would like to share just for a minute or so? Did you watch it? Did you see it? Anybody can confirm? Was it okay? Prabhu, Ravi Prabhu, Bhupal Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhu.
You were able to see the video?
Yes, Prabhu.
So what did we learn from that? How it was coming on us while we were watching that?
So, Prabhu, there is this statement there that
Uh-huh.
despite the discomfort, the ruminators keep ruminating.
Yes. Yes.
So that basically summarizes the whole thing.
Right. Right. So at least that tells, that's very clearly presenting us a beautiful, example that that's how the our struggle of the material world is. We are none different than, and Prabhupada has quoted that many times in his writing, that a hog and ass and camel. Many times Prabhupada is citing. So you can see here how basically difficult it is. I mean, the camels have found a way to chew it, but overall it's the pain is there. The pain is there. So it's very, very kind of applicable to what we are going through in our life. We are exactly going through the same situation. The enjoyment that we have in this material world, we think that this is our place, this is our home. It's all because of the ignorance that we have. So here is a slide, and what I want to do is that I want to basically develop what's the right seeing. We as a conditioned soul, we are so much lost. We have so much conditioning that we are not able to see things, and even if we see, we are not able to understand that pashyanapi na pashyati. You heard that we are seeing things, but that seeing is not making any impact on our consciousness, and that is a very, very big problem. So when Yudhishthira met Yaksha, and the pastime, Yaksha is asking the question. He's asking, ahani ahani bhutani gachanti hayamalayam sesasthavaram ikchanti kim asharyam atah param. So this is basically QA between Yudhishthir and Aksha. And Yaksha is asking, what is the greatest Asharya? Of course, there were many questions that, I think it was 23 questions, I believe, that Yaksha asked Yudhishthira. And you can see the Pandavas, all of the 4 Pandavas are dead here. So he was the last one. And before they can drink the water, they have to answer the question that Yaksha is asking. So what is the greatest Asharya? What is the most amazing thing? And Yudhishthira says, the most amazing thing is that even though every day one sees countless living entity dying, he still acts and thinks as if he will live forever. Right now, Corona is going on, and I'm sure that we are seeing every day people dying, but still who are left here, who are thinking somehow or other, I'm going to escape through it. So the lesson from this discussion is that we have to be very, very sensitive about what we have learned so far. Sometimes we are always trying to learn, just keep on doing more. And that tendency stage, when we come to the spiritual world also, we try to basically keep on going. I made this, keep on going up and up and up and up. But this this pastime is teaching us that we should get some time and do mananam, and we should reflect on the learnings that we have built so far. There are so many things that you and I have learned so far being into the Krishna consciousness. So going back and trying to understand that how much of that I have implemented or I'm trying to implement. So we are seeing things happening around us, but in real sense we are not seeing anything. Pashyanapi na pashyati. Just our eyes are seeing it, but it's not making any impact on our consciousness. So here is the perfect example of how we can learn, how we can see. So as you know, that before Buddha became Lord Buddha, he was Prince Siddhartha. And as at his 18 years of the age, he was given a tour to go and see his kingdom. So when he came out, he saw an old man walking. An old man was walking. So he asked, what is this? Because he was in his palace and he has all the luxurious things around him. All he was able to see is that young women or young men. So he never had seen anybody old like the person that, is walking here. So he was, going through his kingdom, and then he saw one old man walking. He said, who is this? What is this? Then the chariot driver said that he is an old man and everybody one day will become old like him. So Lord Buddha saw. Then he went further down, and then he saw that 4 men were carrying one dead man here, as you can see. And then he said, stop. What is this? What's going on here? And you can see the chariot driver is explaining that, here just one man died, and their relatives and family member, they're going to take his body and burn it. So he asks, so we have to also die. Yes, everybody has to die who has taken birth to this material world. So likewise, this seeing makes such a strong impact on his consciousness that he became Lord Buddha. He liberated, he left everything, he left his kingdom, everything, and then he went into the forest and he started meditation, and he became self-realized person. So perfect seeing is that. The perfect seeing is that by seeing the things of the material world, it should inspire us. It should inspire us to know who we are. It should inspire us to know the tattva, atma tattva. So that's the example, of the perfect seeing. Here is another beautiful example. So when Pandavas completed their education, after that Dronacharya basically asked them to give a test. So everybody at that time was the tradition that whoever has completed their education under Gurukul system, before they leave Gurukul, they had to go through examination. And many of you might know this pastime, this story. So Dronacharya basically put one artificial bird on a tree and asked one by one everybody to look at the bird and pierce in the eye of that bird. So he asked Nakula to come and said that, can you pierce the eye of that bird? But before you try to pierce it, tell me what you were seeing before you throw your arrow. Tell me what you were seeing. So he said that I'm seeing the bird, but also I'm seeing that there is a branch, there is twigs, there are leaves, all of that I'm seeing. Then he said, give it to next person. Likewise, he kept on asking one by one, and everybody said that, I'm seeing the bird, but I'm seeing this, that, so many other things, they were seeing. Finally, he asked Arjun, you try to pierce the eye of the bird, but before you do that, tell me what you were seeing. And Arjun said, my dear Guru Maharaj, all I am seeing is that eye. All I am seeing is that the eye of the bird. And then Dronacharya said, you shoot it. You go ahead and do it. And he exactly pierced the eye of the bird. So what we learn from this? We learn from this incidents, from this story, is that while we are in this material world, there will be tons and tons and tons and tons and tons and tons of disturbances around us. So many things will be artificially created around us to distract us. But once we are conformed, once we are rest assured that my goal is to obtain the Bhagavad Prem, my goal is to one day become a sincere servant of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, then we can basically ignore the disturbances that we are seeing. And this type of story should guide us, because in our day-to-day life, sometimes we get extremely boggled up. This is happening, that is happening. So many things are, happening. But underlying everything that's happening is happening for some reason. But we have to understand that underlying goal is that I am basically trying to be pure devotee of the Supreme Lord. I am moving towards the Supreme Lord. An example is given that when Mother Ganges is coming, she goes through a lot of different types of topography. She will go to the dry areas, she will go to the flat areas, she will go to the hilly area, she will go to the mountainous area. All types of topography she is going through, but she doesn't stop. If it's something high, she will become even higher than that. If something is stopping, she will find a way to go through it. So bhakti should be like that. As we are progressing on our spiritual journey, there will be tons and tons and tons and tons of obstacles and disturbance. But as a sincere soul, we have to find the way to go through it and ultimately overcome it, go to the next step. So this story very clearly tells us, what is the what is the mood when we are in our process of spiritual journey. So here is another picture that I have on my screen, and I don't know how it's appearing to your end, but I'll just give a minute or so pause, okay? And I will just, just stare at this, just for a minute or two, stare in the center of that picture and just try to focus and see how you feel it. And then after that, a minute or so, we'll talk about it. You just stare at it and see how you feel it. Are you feeling some emotion? Are you feeling some movement in it? Or you are feeling that this is just a picture which is not doing anything, just you are seeing as it is? So I want to give maybe 30 seconds and then we'll talk about it. Okay, so when I see at that picture, I feel like that it's moving. And it feels like that it's rotating like this. But depends, sometimes I also feel like that it's basically moving like this. Two circles moving in a different direction. So anybody of you, did you feel anything, any movement, anything with that picture or no? Or it didn't make any difference?
Yes, Prabhu, we see it's moving.
Right? It feels that it's moving.
Yes, Prabhu.
Right. Is it really moving?
No.
Yeah, it's optical illusion, right? So, this is not a big thing, but at least this small thing help us understand how this material world is acting around us. We see things happening, and then we have some emotion associated with it. We have some, reflection against what, happening around us. But in reality, this is all illusion. This is all illusion. It's all basically not something that we should be too much caught up into it, because this is ultimately not the reality. But why we are not able to see that, why we are not able to see things as they are? Because we have the ignorance, of who we are, who the Supreme Personality of Godhead is. So we have no idea about Atma Tattva, and we have no idea about the Param Tattva. So our biggest enemy, the enemies of the mind, are the six guys here. The Kama, which is called lust; the Krodha, which is anger; Lobha, the greed; Mada, the intoxication or madness; Moha, illusion; and Matsaraya, envy. So these six guys are our real enemy. And what it does to us, you can see here the ladder. What it's doing is that the goal of a human being as a whole, whoever is, wherever they are born, whatever status he is in, the goal is to proceed up, go up, and ultimately slowly and slowly come to the shelter of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But what happens is exactly the opposite. Instead of going up, we are coming down. And here on the other end, we have Maya Devi. Okay, so by these six enemies, we are so bound, and you can see here that a man bound by ropes. These enemies are so strong that they are pulling us down. And instead of going up, we are coming down. So we have to find a way to basically get rid or get over these enemies. And that's what this purport was talking, that we have to have the knowledge. We have to take the shelter of the Bhagavatam, person Bhagavatam or book Bhagavatam, because they are the Adhyatma Deepam, and they are going to give us the knowledge by which we can subdue the enemies of the mind. By thinking and by willing and by feeling, these enemies are not going to subdue. By meditating on these enemies, that okay, tomorrow I have some plan and I'll act on that plan, and this plan will not let me have anger, or not let me have the kama or lobha. That's not how it works. This purport is saying that we have to have right things around us. We have to take the right medicine to basically get rid of this enemy. And what is that medicine? Those medicines are here basically given as Guru, Shastra, and Sadhu. The source of the knowledge is Guru, Shastra, and Sadhu. We hear so many things from so many places, but as a devotee, we just take it as an information. We do not take it as a knowledge, the knowledge that's going to help me cross the cycle of samsara. So Sadhu Vakya, hearing from a bona fide spiritual master, hearing from a bona fide saintly person, is what we have to take as a source of the knowledge, and that comes by association of the saintly person. So Sadhu is the one source of the knowledge. And then the second one is Shastra Chakshu, Shastra, getting the information from bona fide scripture such as Srimad Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita, and putting our faith in that scripture, we get the true knowledge. And then the third component of the knowledge is Guru Gyananjana Chakshuna. So the knowledge that we get, and when we start reciting Srimad Bhagavatam, we say Om Jnanatimandasya Gyananjana Salakaya. I was born into dark ignorance, but this is my spiritual master who has given me the torchlight of knowledge to cross the suffering of the material world. So these are basically three sources of knowledge. These are the three sources of knowledge: Guru, Shastra, and Sadhu. And that's what we basically read in the purport. Prabhupada is saying that the Bhagavatam, Sukadeva Goswami as a Sadhu, and book Bhagavatam as a Shastra. The material world is very difficult to cross, but the last part of the purport says that if we take the shelter of Sadhu and Shastra and Guru, then we can cross the ocean of material world. There is a beautiful song by Narottam Das Thakur that says that Sadhu Shastra Guru Vakya Tineta Kariyayakya, means once devotee has aligned his goals, his day-to-day activity, his lifestyle based upon the instructions of Guru, Shastra, and Sadhu. So sometimes, and I think in previous lecture I talked that basically it makes a triangle: Guru, Shastra, and Sadhu. Sometime, and we are receiving the information from these three sources. So as we receive the information, sometimes basically there might be some conflict. Okay, so while we are receiving the information from Guru, Shastra, and Sadhu, if the conflict comes, so suppose if you hear something from Guru and you are now little bit confused, you think that it's not aligning with what Shastra and Sadhu is saying, then you have to rethink over that, because what Guru is saying should be supported by Shastra and Sadhu. What Sadhu is saying should be coming from the Shastra and should be spoken by Guru. What Shastra is saying, what Shastra has given, that should be coming and supported by Sadhu and Guru. So these three should be aligned. And if you have any time conflict that which one is true, you basically go back and look at how Sadhu and Shastra is saying. And I have seen many times, when some tough questions comes to Sannyasis, I have seen that although they might have some different opinion on the subject, but to confirm the answer for that specific question, they will say that this is the answer because this is what sadhu is saying, and this is what shastra is saying. So if we really try to basically put ourselves in the middle, and I don't know if I have that slide or not. Okay, I don't have it. So if you really try to put ourselves in that triangle and always try to see that my lifestyle, as I am trying to be a devotee of Krishna, is within this triangle, and the instruction that I am getting is harmonized, and then take that as an instruction, and with that, if we act in our devotional service, our progress is going to be fast, because we have to slowly and slowly reject the things that's created by our own mental speculation, rather depend on the instructions coming from Guru, Shastra and Sadhu. And what happens is that if we are not seeing the reality, and here are some pictures that I want to show, what we see often is only a fractional part of what it really is. And you can see, the iceberg here. So that's what happens most of the time. If you try to make the things go through based upon our intelligence, that means we have the imperfect senses and we are not seeing the full picture. There are something hidden that our limited understanding has not captured that. What matters most is how you see yourself. How you see yourself. We are not seeing ourselves as anything else except seeing that we are insignificant soul. That's all. That's all our identity is. We are nothing. Everything else that given to us is temporary, just for this lifetime. And if we don't use it rightly, we are going to lose it. Who we are, seeing ourselves as we are really. So always being aware that I'm a conditioned soul, and the decision that I'm making based upon my intelligence has some imperfection, and that has to go. And how it goes away? Prema bhakti jahan hote avidya vinasa jate. By prema bhakti, by engaging into the process of bhakti. Because what process of bhakti does is that in spite of reading the Guru, Shastra and Sadhu, or getting the instruction from Guru, Shastra and Sadhu, there is another component of that, and that component is realized knowledge. So realized knowledge is a form for knowledge. And you heard in the purport that Sukadeva Goswami has already experienced. So what he is saying to the sages, he has already assimilated it. He has already realized it. He has already, experienced the depth of the knowledge that he is sharing. So prema bhakti jaha hoite avidya vinasa jate. If we do the bhakti under the domain of Guru, Shastra and Sadhu instructions, then with that bhakti, realized knowledge come. And with that realized knowledge, avidya slowly and slowly will go away. Otherwise, there is no other process. There is no other process to really dispel this avidya. The avidya that we have, which is creating everything illusory around us. In order for us to get rid of that illusory understanding, we have to take the shelter of Guru, Shastra and Sadhu. And here is a beautiful picture that says that the guardrail that devotee follows, so normally rail has, the train is running on the two rail. But our life, as we are progressing in our devotional service, it's running on three rails. And one is Shastra, one is Sadhu, and one is Guru. Guru, Shastra, Sadhu, Vakya, Tineta, Kariya, Yakya. If we basically harmonize the instructions of Guru, Shastra and Sadhu, implement that in our life and continue moving, then at the end of the day, we'll be at the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So that's basically message I wanted to share. This particular purport is teaching us that how we can come out of the cycle of birth and death. We are caught into the material world, and we are not able to see what is the way out. And the way out is Bhagavatam, Guru Shastra and Sadhu. And we have to hear their instructions and take shelter of the Guru Shastra and Sadhu. Follow, as the rail is following the two rails, we have to follow three rails. And at the end of our spiritual journey, we'll be back to home, back to Krishna. So that's what I wanted to share. I think I thought it's going to take a long time, but I kind of little bit went quickly, and I'm very much done. So this was the topics that I wanted to share with you, and I'll give a just quick pause if there is any comment, any feedback, or anything that you have. So Prabhu, anybody has anything? Did it make sense or not? Let me first ask that one.
Yes, Prabhu, definitely made sense, Prabhu.
So do you agree that we have to live the life within the jurisdiction of Guru Shastra and Sadhu's instructions?
Absolutely. Yeah. But is there any order in which this Guru Sadhu Shastra thing happens, Prabhu, or there is no? We just live under the guidelines of the three. There is no order in which it happens.
No, I mean, there is order for it. There is order of it. And what happens is that, but sometimes, we may not be able to basically see it, or we may not be able to put them, in a systematic way. But the first thing is that sadhu comes first. Most of the time, somehow or other, we'll hear about Srila Prabhupada, or he's one of the, follower. We meet with them, and then we get some, attraction with the process. And then after that, Shastra comes. Shastra comes in forms of, Bhagavad Gita or Srimad Bhagavatam or any book, it comes. Then once we have basically Sadhu Sangha, after Sadhu Sangha, we basically get association of Shastra. And then as we are in the process, Guru comes. And when Guru comes, he gives Harinam, he gives the Lord himself. So normally that's how it works. It's been said that if somebody is lucky, he gets basically Sadhu. He gets, he's somewhere living in a remote area. He can hear about Sadhu, but he's not getting the association of not getting the association of the scripture. He does not have association of the holy name. So he's living somewhere where he has, he has heard about Sadhu. But then when Krishna becomes more happy, then he gives him holy name, or he gives him basically association through Sadhu. So once we have these all three things, we have Shastra, we have Sadhu, and we have Guru. If all these three things have come to our life, that means we are very, 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 very fortunate person. Very, very fortunate person. And then we should really feel that deep fortune, and each and every moment of our life, we should invest in a way that we can ultimately come to the pure devotional service. So if you really try to put into a order, Sadhu is the, Guru Krishna Prasade Pai Bhakti Lata Bhi. Sadhu is the one who first comes. That is why, preaching is very essential. We have to preach. We have to go and preach, because I don't know how much sadhu we are, but just by giving our association, we are transplanting the seed of bhakti. And then with that, somebody will inspire to know more and more. Then they will take the shelter of the Shastra. And finally, they will take the shelter of the Guru and holy name. So if we look into our lives, we have very much taken all these theories. If we see how we came, most of us came because some saintly person approached to us. And then after that, we took the shelter of the Shastra, Bhagavad Gita. And then now we are planning to take the shelter of Guru if you have not been initiated. And that's how the process begins. Right. Are you clear, Prabhu?
Thank you, Prabhu.
So if we have Guru, Shastra and Sadhu, everything given to us, that means we are very, very lucky, very, very fortunate. I don't know if you feel that fortune or not. You know, the thing in the material world is that fortune is always with how much bank balance we have, how many cars we have, you know, how happy I'm sleeping, how happy I'm waking up. But in a spiritual reality, you know, in a spiritual realm, the happiness is how much deeper shelter I have taken to the saintly person, to the Shastra, and to our spiritual master.
Yes, Prabhu. I don't know if I have realized the value of what I have received, but I think better than 10 years back. So progressing.
Right, you're right. We all are, you know, progressing. We all have still some, you know, tendencies. And so, you know, one of the things is that compassion. Like if I do some mistakes, some, you know, some offense, you should be compassionate. You know, you should know that, you know, after all, you know, he's trying to be sincere soul. But Krishna says that, you know, my devotee will feel the guilt. So if I do something wrong, if I have done something wrong about something, very soon, you know, the guilt starts happening. Oh no, why did I do it? I just anger came to me. This six mind of the, you know, the six enemies of the mind that we saw, they are our enemy, you know. So sometimes, you know, for no reason, I just become angry. No, I can't do it. This is, you know, but then as soon as it goes away, a person who is serious on the process, who is trying to take the deeper shelter of the Krishna, very soon he will realize, oh no, I made a mistake. You know, I should not have done it. So that guilt, you know, when the guilt comes, you know, Krishna says, okay, no, I forgive you. Don't worry, continue. But the people who are not sensitive about being Krishna conscious, or about who they are, or they have not really started their sensitivity towards a spiritual subject, they don't have guilt. Rather, they justify it. They will justify what they are doing. But devotee is not like that. Devotee will say, yes, Prabhu, thank you for letting me know. I think I made a major mistake. I should not have done it. And that's good. You know, that Krishna will help us. And say, okay, good. And if we don't have that thing coming, that means we are not progressing also. So if I made some mistake, because sometimes, you know, as we said, that there are things around us which are artificial, created. So not it's created only to agitate our material desire, but it's created also to inspire us spiritually. So things when, and that's one of the slides we had, seeing things as it is, you know, things are also designed in your and my life, and you know, in the lives of the other devotees, to inspire them in the process of bhakti. So as we are on the journey, sometimes if you end up making some mistakes, don't be too hard on yourself. Rather, learn from it. Oh, Krishna made me do something like that. What is the lesson behind it? And not repeat it. Don't do it, because that's how sometimes, you know, we learn. I mean, I learn, you know, sometimes it happens that due to my enthusiasm, I overspoke, you know, I overspeak something. I do some mistake and I feel that people didn't like it. Somebody didn't like it. Then I know I very soon start thinking, oh, I should not have done it. And then I try to work on it, but it's still, you know, like lives after lives after lives after lives after, you know, kind of accumulation. How many births we have taken, how many forms we have taken, how much, you know, offenses we have done so far. If you really look back, it's really huge. But now we are trying to, you know, really slowly and slowly come out of it. So it will take time. That is why we have to be very gentle on ourselves, and also serious in terms of I have to make it. But gentle in terms of, if you end up making some mistakes, don't worry too much. Rather just go chant few extra round and develop the positive attitude about the process and continue. So we have to also inspire ourselves because you are practicing yourself, you, your wife and kids. Likewise, I am here with my wife. So we have to be our own inspiration also. If we get up into some area where we do not find things coming positive, then we have to just meditate and say that, no, just ignore it. Negative thing, I'm just going to throw it out. I have to focus on the positive thing. And it happens, all of us, our mood changes. Sometimes we're very happy because we had some problem that we just overcame. And so it's very beautiful process.
Yeah.
And it's kind of Chatudapna Marjanam, it's kind of process of cleaning, when we try to clean the dirty utensil, it's not like that the object that we are using to clean it makes it shiny, but the shining is in that object. All we are doing is that taking the dust out. So taking the dust out is a process, and that process, we have to be, gentle with us. If you rub, if you can, with a stand, that rubbing force, you can rub, very quickly and shine it. But if you cannot take the pain that's coming by the rubbing in the cleaning process, then you rub slowly, but continue rubbing. And then slowly and slowly, it'll become shiny. So the cleanliness is there. The soul, Jivara Sarupa Nitya Krishna Das, the soul is always looking for Krishna. Always looking for Krishna. But then the layers that has accumulated, that layer sometimes takes this way, sometimes takes that way, sometimes give different priority. So bhakti, is basically the process. Bhakti is slowly rubbing that off. So we have to be very, very gentle and feel very, very fortunate, not feeling discouraged. Mistakes, okay. I made a mistake, I'll try to improve on it, but not trying to, go away from the process or feel like that, suicidal or those kind of things. No need. And as you said, yes, we are very, 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 very fortunate because Krishna has given us all this theory. We are studying Srimad Bhagavatam. We have our spiritual master, and we are associating with each other. So all these three components we have. So there is nothing we are lacking. All we have to do is that continue the process.
Yes, Prabhu. Thank you.
Anybody has anything else? Okay, so if not, then can we stop here?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. I have a doubt, Prabhuji.
Yes, Mataji.
Prabhuji, where can we place can we place our Shiksha Guru and Diksha Guru under Guru, or it's like different?
So Guru means Siksha and Diksha Guru. That's number one. And when we do the IDC course, ISKCON Disciple course, in that course, we'll study. So Siksha Guru and Diksha Guru, but Diksha Guru has superior position because he makes us twice born. He gives us, second birth by giving the holy name. So Diksha Guru has definitely, higher position, and we can have only one Diksha Guru unless and until, just take it as a granted that, only one Diksha Guru. I mean, we have seen some example where Guru has left the movement and then they take other spiritual master, but they take that spiritual master also as their first spiritual master. So that's Diksha Guru. But Siksha Guru, anybody who has, given us some inspiration to come to Krishna consciousness is our Siksha Guru. And we can have more than one Siksha Guru. We can have numerous Siksha Guru. If you are inspired to hear somebody's, YouTube Bhagavatam class every day, like Amrendra Prabhu or Chaitanya Charan Prabhu or Prema Vilas Prabhu or any other devotee, if you are inspired by him and you are taking instructions through his lectures, asking, calling him, then he is your Shiksha Guru. By default, Prabhupada is our Shiksha Guru because we are studying and we are learning from his Srimad Bhagavatam. So Prabhupada is our Shiksha Guru. So likewise, there can be more Shiksha Gurus. Whoever helped you come to Krishna consciousness, if you really appreciate and if you feel like that person inspired you a lot. In fact, that person, most of the time, who brings us to Krishna consciousness, we should have deep, deep gratitude for that person. I'm not necessarily saying that we have to take that person as our Shiksha Guru, but that person also is like our Shiksha Guru because he is the one, who gave us the Chakshu. So that's how we see Shiksha Guru can be multiple, but the Diksha Guru has higher position. And when we say Guru here, it refers to both Shiksha and Diksha Guru. What's that?
Yes, Prabhuji.
That's what you were asking, Mata? You're asking something else.
No, Prabhuji. Actually, as you said, can you tell one more example for sadhu? You said Srila Prabhupada, right?
So you were trying to understand the difference between Guru and Sadhu?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Oh, yeah. So Sadhu is basically, we all can fall under the category of a Sadhu, but not literally we are Shiksha Guru of each other. Like just take the, relationship between me and Bhupal Prabhu. He inspires me, I inspire him, right? So my association for him is association of a saintly person, Sadhu. When he is telling me something, I consider him as a Sadhu. But our relationship might not be that, he considered me as a Shiksha Guru, I consider him as a Shiksha Guru. It might not be the case. When you are going for a book distribution, there are many people who are walking on the street and they do not know anything about Krishna consciousness. They do not have, any idea. But we request, all we are trying to do is that, we are begging that, who can you buy this Bhagavad Gita? Is $5 worth book. And that person will buy it. That person will buy Bhagavad Gita and he would not even remember from whom he bought. But he got the association of yours as a sadhu. And then that Bhagavad Gita will slowly and slowly bring him one day to Krishna consciousness. So that's sadhu. Prabhupada, when he came to this, this country, to US, many people saw him. Many people saw him, but few of them took the process. Few of them just appreciated him, So just even by appreciating the saintly person, one gets the pious credit and one gets the opportunity to become a pure devotee. When Parikshit Maharaj met Sukadeva Goswami, he said, just by looking at you, all of my desires have been fulfilled. So what to know or what to talk about when I hear your instructions. So simply sadhu is basically, like that. Sadhu can, go and just pour their mercy on each and everybody. So that's sadhu. But once you have some relationship build, either in the form of Shiksha Guru or Diksha Guru, then the term Guru is being used there. Is it clear, Mataji, or not yet?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you.
So Sadhu, you are sadhu. You are sadhu, and just by having your association, somebody will get seed of bhakti. Or if you appreciate somebody, Prabhu, I like you, you are so nice person. You go to somebody's house, you have taken the shelter of Supreme Personality of Godhead, you are chanting, you are following the 4 regulative principles, you are trying to be devotee of Krishna, and you are sadhu. If you go to somebody, some of your friends who are not a devotee, or who are not trying to be devotee, or who are not familiar with the process, you go to their home one day, they invite you to come, and they are taking care of you. They are serving you, they're giving you water. They are saying that, thank you for coming. You want to eat this, you want to eat that. They appreciate you, you appreciate them. They got your association right there. It's not happening, through the Shastra or on the relationship of Guru and Sishya. But as a sadhu, you are giving your association. They're appreciating you, you are appreciating them. And by that, they are getting the seed of bhakti. Sooner or later, they will come to the point where they will think that Ishvara Parama Krishna Sachitananda Vigraha Anadi Adir Govinda Sarvakaran Karnam. Now the Param Ishwar is Bhagavan Sri Krishna, and I have to meditate on Supreme Lord Sri Krishna. So that's how. So we all here who are on this call, or who are taking Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who are on the process of bhakti, are sadhus. Some of them are, of course, big sadhus, but sadhu is a kind of broader word. I don't know. Anything else, Mataji, or it's good?
Oh, I'm good, Prabhuji. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Anything else? Okay, so last announcement that I have is that we are starting a Bhakti Shastri course, and I got few response, and I spoke with Lal Gopal Prabhu. So we are going to officially start the course in a week or so. So if anybody is interested to join that program, I think you should let that person know, and that person should be part of it. It's going to be very, very, well organized, and I'm going to invest myself really very heavily to organize and do things so that devotee can get inspired. And most likely it's going to be the same format, same style. I'm going to basically go over each chapter and take the essence out. And each week, I don't know which day, but we'll try to find some time for hour and a half and go over each chapter so that it will keep devotee, kind of excited. The thing is that by doing online, many devotees are not able to continue the whole course. They're not able to complete it because, depending on how much enthusiasm you have and also how you want to kind of serve the Shastra, at some point they drop. They go up to like first module, second module, and then they stop. So the goal of our curriculum and the program is that whoever enrolls, we have to work hard and inspire each other so that everybody can go through it and get it done. So if anybody is interested to get into our Bhakti Shastri course, I request you to confirm your name, or if you have somebody who wants to join, you talk to that person and let me know. Because in a week or so, most likely from next weekend, I think we are going to formally start having our sessions. So with that, I would like to pause here. We'll have Vaishnava Pranams. Vanchkalpatarubhyasya kripa sindhubhya evasya patitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Grantha Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, assembled Bhakta Vrind ki jai, Nitai Gaur Prem Nandi Hari Hari Bol. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna, Dandavata Pranams to everybody. And I'll see you all in the evening today at 7 o'clock. Thank you. Dandavat. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Hare Krishna.